should be now seeing our code.org site. And the first thing you're going to want to do is sign in. Remember, if you are under 13, you will need your parents' permission to sign in. And go ahead and enter mine. Once you sign in, that is your place to always keep your projects. Make sure you do save, and make sure that you go ahead and sign in, not just do the tutorials as a guest. This makes sure that everything is saved and that you don't lose your app. So once you have signed in, you'll come to your dashboard. You can go over and look at your projects. You can also look at your account settings. You can go into the different create areas. The course catalog. If you have not started your app, this is a great place to start. If you go down past the recommended courses, past hour of code, and go to App Lab, which is on that courses page, click Learn More. And this will take you to the start of the App Lab lesson set. And from here, you can go down and hit go, and that will take you to the actual lessons for the App Lab. It starts with a video and then progresses. And I believe there's 3 or 4 lesson sets in the App Lab that will tell you how to do certain things. I always like coming back to this because it allows me to double check what I'm doing and to view if I'm doing something right. So you can always come back to this. Now we're going to go over into My Projects. This is where your projects are saved. So here are all of my projects that I've been working on. Clearly, I've had a couple that I haven't done anything with. And then I have my one that we're actually working on right now. And doing a quick check to make sure. Okay, that people are not emailing with needs of help. So I'm going to click on my app. Do name your project, and I'll show you where and how to do that in just a second. So I'm opening up an app that I've already started working on, and we're going to make another page to it so that you see how to make the different apps. So mine comes up. To name your app, you can use the rename feature and go ahead and rename your app. That helps you keep track of it. It will automatically save as untitled, but it does make it easier when you go into My Projects to find it. And your app will actually show your first page, and you have your controllers. I wish I could say I am so good at coding that I can code my app and I did all of this just out of this window. I'm not. If you go to Design over here, it allows you to do the drag and drop. And that is really where I'm at. So feel free to also do the drag and drop. So just to give you an idea of my app, so mine is my reduce and reuse helper. And I made my first screen with a button to say, click here to start. I'm going to my second screen, which is what do you want to reuse? And I have a number of different things that they can reuse. So plastic bags, old t-shirts, water bottles, cardboard. And I've only gotten to working on my plastic bags so far. We're going to be working on our water bottles today. And so if you click on the plastic bags, here are some of the things that you can make with used plastic bags. And I have some awesome pictures of things that you can make with them. And for my app, instead of writing everything out on how to, I found great tutorials online. So let's say we want to make this little basket. You can actually click on it. It's going to take you out of the app, but over to the website where I learned how to make the basket. And so it takes it over to Rad Megan, who has a great write-up that I decided I was going to just send people to. And she shows you step by step how to make your bag reusable. If you have things that you want to do and you want to write up your own stuff, that is highly commendable. I decided somebody else has already done this amazingly well. I'm just going to make an app that points to those things. If I was to sell this app, I would need to make sure I have permission. But we're mostly creating these for educational purposes. So for right now, that is not something we need to worry about. So let's get into working on our app. So you notice I hit reset. So now I'm to this screen and it says run. I'm going to go up here and I want to go to screen 2. And screen 2 is where we split off. So if I put my hand or my cursor over my picture, it tells me that my ID is image 3, and it tells me what I'm doing. So if I click on that, my properties are going to go to image 3, and I have all the different options of width, height, image, what I want my image to be. We'll practice that in a little bit, and a few other options. I also have events. So I want my image 3 to go to a new screen. So I'm going to click to insert and show code for if I have an event to image 3. When I click on that, it comes up with my workspace. If I go down to the bottom, it's already auto-filled on event, image 3, if they click. So essentially, in code language, this is saying if someone clicks, or if you're on image 3 and someone clicks, we're going to do an event, and I need to decide what my event is going to be. So I want them to set screen, because I'm building a new screen, and if I click on that, I have the option of going to screen 1, screen 2, plastic bag options, screen 4, and screen 5. So I went ahead and made a whole bunch of screens. I know I have used screen 1, screen 2, and plastic bag options. So I'm going to go to screen 4. And that way I can go up here, check on screen 4, it's nothing, and I've put in that it's going to go to that. I'm going to go over to design, go to properties. Because my screen numbers are starting to get a little confusing, I'm going to change screen 4 to plastic bottle options. You will notice there's no spaces in this. So all of your screen titles will not have spaces. If you want to put a space, you can use underscore to put in a space. But I usually just make them the way they are. And from here, I can pick if I want a theme. I'm going with default. I can pick if I want a background color. If I want to do red's an angry color, I'm going to do a very light green. So there we go. I like that. I can also choose to put an image in as my background. So this is what I'm going to work with. I now want to put in an image of one of the things that we can do with our plastic bags. So I'm going to go in and drop an image right here. That's my image 13. And here's all of my different things. I'm just going with the standards. So I found an awesome website that has all of these really cool options you can do with plastic bags. And I think one of the ones I liked was this make a recycled bird feeder. So I'm gonna go to the step-by-step tutorial. I wanna make sure, one, that it's perfectly cool for me to have scouts on this. So I'm just gonna go through and check and make sure that this is scout friendly. Yes, it is. So for my images, I'm actually just saving an image off the internet. Again, we're using this for educational purposes. Oops, I cannot save a full website, so we can't use that. So I'm going to go back over here and see if I can capture their picture. So save image as, and it allows me to save as a PNG file, which I can use. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go back to my page, and I'm going to save or copy my website. And we can come back and do that again. Sorry, my share screen option keeps coming in and getting in my way. So I can go back to mycode.org. I have my image. I'm going to choose to pick an image. Right now, I don't have an image listed. It's not been uploaded. So choose to upload a file. And let's see. Oh, there's my bird feeder. Error, uploading image. Let's try this one more time and see if that works. All right, it looks like it's an unknown format, so we're going to try something different. So it looks like PNG files do not work. So I'm going to get my 2-liter herb garden JPEG instead of my bird feeder. We'll find the bird feeder later. And there is my image. So now I want to make it into an event so it goes to my website. So click on events, click show code, and here is my website that I already found. Okay, go back down. And so we're going to go all the way down to image 3 clicked. And what do I want my image, what do I want it to do when I click it? So I have all those different options. I could go to a new page. For me, I want it to open a URL. So I'm going to click on that and click my URL. So now, when you click on this picture, it goes to another location. So going back to my design mode, let's say I want to be able to go back to the beginning. That's a really important option. So I'm going to go back down to my plastic bags, and I'm going to move all of my images up a little bit so I can fit my button in. I also realized my plastic bag images don't have a color. So I went to the properties, and we're going to pick color. I feel like blue would be good on this one. So there we go. We got a light blue. So now I want to put in a button down here. So I've dropped my button in. All of my buttons so far have been orange. That's the default. If you want to change it, again, click on the color button, and you have the option of changing your button to any color you would like within the spectrum. I like the orange and white because for me, always having my buttons the same colors is really helpful. It helps make people notice that that's a button. So I want all of my buttons to look the same. So I'm sticking to the orange with white text. I can go up here to text and change this to press here to return, or actually just return to main menu. And notice my button kind of doesn't fit that. So I want it to be a longer button. So it's all one level. And I want my button to be moved over a little bit right there. So I want my button to go back to my main menu. So go to Events, click Insert and Show Code. Go down to the very last code, which is my button. So when I press button 2, click, where do I want to go? And I want to set screen. So I'm going to click to set screen, and I want it to go to screen 2. It says that's where my main menu is. So let's hit run and let it do its thing and see how our app is going. So click here. We can click plastic bags, return to main menu. I've returned to my main menu. I go to my plastic water bottles, and it appears I did not get a link correct. I know why, so I'm going to reset. So here's an issue that I had. I renamed my page from screen 4 to plastic bottle options. So I need to come back when image 3 is clicked and rename that. So now, instead of going to a page 4 that doesn't exist, I go to page plastic bottle options. So let's run that now. I'm going to start. And there I go. So I've got all of my stuff ready to go. I want to go ahead and get a few more images in here. So I'm going to go back to design, my plastic bottle options. I'm going to drop my images in because I can fill them in as I find more options. And my goal is to have 6 options on each one. So I'm just putting them all in. And then I want my button at the bottom. And remember, I want my button big and flat, not, so I can also do kind of a drag and adjust it just like I would in a drawing program or something like PowerPoint, if you've used that. I want my button to say the same thing, return to main menu. And I can either keep my buttons labeled the same, or I can start changing them. For right now, all of my buttons pretty much return to the main menu, so I can leave them as is. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my little hand and kind of center him, because I'm one of those people that does not like if they're not centered. So we're going to go over to here, and we're going to fill in one more of our awesome things. So let's see. She's doing these cute little no zipper bottle holders. Let's see if that will save as a JPEG. And it is a JPEG. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to copy and paste my, okay, go back up. Thank you. There we go. In the process. So, so going over to my button, my image, and I want to go ahead and choose, oh, sorry, I'm going to upload a file, and there is my image. So I've uploaded it, choose. So I've got my image now on there. I'm going back to my events. Remember, I want it to go to my other website. So click on that, go back down, and we're at image 14. What do I want it to do? Again, I can have it do a lot of things. I can have it go to another page. I can have it change sizes. I can have it change colors. I want mine to go to a URL. So I'm going to put that in. So a great way to do some of this is, let's go ahead and go to this image. Oh, got to go back to design. We're going to go to image 14. I'm not going to put, let's see, what do I want to put in there? Let's put another plastic bottle in. So we're just kind of experimenting with this one. So events, a great way to figure out if what something does if you are curious. Go over to here and start looking at some of the different things that you can do. So let's say I decide that if you click on my bottle image, I'm going to play a sound. And I want my sound to be the default. So just trying something. I can also have it still go to another website or something like that. So I've set my sound. Let's go ahead and hit run. Go over to here, here. And I don't know if you could hear that, but it went. So you can have sounds associated with each of your things. Let's hit reset. What if I don't want to do a sound? If you don't want to do something, just kind of pull it over where it's not visible. And let's say I want to make my element disappear. So I can do hide element, and I'm going to make button 3 disappear if you click on my picture. So going over here, going into that, and button 3 just disappeared. So you can do quite a few things. We're going to reset. Again, I do not want my button to disappear. I was just practicing. Let's see what, we're going to write text. We're going to write hello. I don't know where it's going to write, but let's see. So we're going to hit run. We're going to click here, click here, click here. Oh, and there it is, hello, right up at the top of the screen. So I can just keep hitting it, and it keeps doing hello. So that's one of the other things that you can do is you can pick, you can just go in and experiment. Some of the other sections that you have, data. These are more if you're doing something where they're inputting a lot of data. And there is a tutorial on this. I have actually not used any of the data features, so I really don't know what they do. Your controls are, again, if they put in data and they pick one of 2 things. So if they pick if something otherwise, again, it's in the tutorial. I haven't used it too much. Variables. So a lot of these, like I said, I have not actually used functions, we're doing those. These are the events. I have not used that much of the straight coding.